The key. Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. I am feeling a lot better this time, which you can probably tell from my voice, although it is Thursday and I don't have a lot of video to share with you so far. It's been really dark, basically, is just the whole reason. Like, for the last 3 days there's been no light, so I filmed a bit on Sunday when we went for a big walk, but then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was dark and rainy. And because I film on my phone, obviously, then the video just gets really crunchy and weird because the iPhone isn't particularly good in low light situations. So it just got a bit weird. It's now Thursday and I'm trying to film, I guess, the bulk of some kind of video because I know a lot of you really value the routine of the videos. So I am working on one anyway. I don't have a lot to say. It's a new year. Happy New Year, first of all. I don't really set intentions for the year because I don't like to. I have kind of a tentative relationship with existence. If you can hear Wednesday, please ignore her. This is actually my second audio take because she won't just like settle. She's just whining. We just got back from a really big walk and we had lunch, and normally she would then just go to sleep so I could work, but for some reason she's feeling feisty today. And she's really doing her best to sabotage me on my only day of sunlight this week. I don't really set resolutions because I have quite a tentative relationship with existence. I don't like to give myself big goals or long-term goals. I have a hard time thinking about the future. I won't elaborate because we start getting into sensitive topics and I don't really want to do that. That's not really the point. But so the new year is a weird time. I always feel a bit in between, and I spend a lot of time trying not to think about the fact it's a new year. Nothing really changes, does it? Because I think time is fake, but you know, it feels weird. So I've been trying to catch up on things, mostly because I spent half of December unconscious. So I have a lot of really weird things to catch up on, like 3 weeks worth of laundry. I haven't done my tax assessment yet, so I have to do that like next week. And the video is non-existent. So we're starting strong. We're starting strong this year. What I do want to show you, and the context for this, some of you might remember that before I was living in Reading, I was living with my mum in London, and London is where I grew up, and I moved quite suddenly, and I didn't go back for much of my belongings. Over Christmas, we were with my mum, and she is getting ready to move house. I think she's moving house today. And so over Christmas, part of why I didn't film very much is because I was sorting through the belongings I had left there. And in those belongings, what I found that I thought I no longer had, and some of you are going to be excited, I think, maybe, and some of you will just be like, oh no, not those. But I found like a veritable like stack of old notebooks. These are all my old journals. So when people comment like, how did you get here? How did you develop your system? This is how. I found a neat stack of old books. Like, I was sorting through my stuff and my brother was helping me. Big thanks to him. I wouldn't have managed it alone. It was very overwhelming. But I was sorting through all my adolescent junk and I found all of these books. I think I have more as well in a box in my room somewhere. What you can't see off camera is that this week my room is just full of boxes of junk from my mum's, which is not a great feeling, but we're working on it. And by we, I mean me. I'm working on it. But because there's not a lot of video to show you this week, I thought maybe we could look through some of these for those of you interested, and then if other people are more interested, I could make a separate video about how these led me to where I am today, I guess. I think these numbered ones are the more recent ones. They're from like 2020, and then this one, for example, is 2017 to 2018, so that's when I was in uni. I'm not going to show you these. I'm going to show you one of them, just to show you how different my handwriting was, because I didn't really realize this until Luke and I found them and we're looking through them. But like how much bigger my handwriting was. I never knew I had handwriting that big at one point. And this was largely how I was planning things, was with a view of the week and then tracking the same stuff I track now, apart from Instagram posting. Why was I trying to post every day? That's a choice. I'm not doing that anymore. And then a task list. So, and then I would break it down day by day as well. So this was at uni. I love that I just abandoned it on a really messy page. These ones, however, are when I got neater and I started refining my system a bit more. This one I think is from 2020. This one is 2018. And my handwriting is already, oh no, it's bigger. It's big. But this is when I started collecting things as well, I think. The Incredibles 2. Some kind of list my dad wrote. Collecting lots of funny little bits among the pages. A drawing of a shoe. Some plants. Kind of cute. This is when I first launched my Patreon for the first time, and I had these cute little like tear illustrations. Some funny ticket stubs. A label for bananas. A ticket. Yeah, okay, anyway, moving on from 2018. If we start with number 1, and I'll show you, I probably won't go through all of them in depth. Where's number 3? How did I lose number 3? Oh no, here it is. Number 3. So I filled 5-ish completely, I think. And some of you will recognize these books from Instagram and my old YouTube videos before I privated them all for being truly haunting. I don't know how to go about this. And I'm feeling very fuzzy on the video making skill side, so I'm so sorry for how messy this all is. Also, the dog is doing me a concern out the corner of my eye because she's just being very strange, and I already had to stop filming once, so it's a whole thing. But this is book number 1. I'm not sure what the year this is from. Sometimes I didn't date them, which is really special of me. So what I would do, and they're Leuchtturm books, by the way, obviously. What I would do is draw out the months of the year. I would do like 3 or 4 months, and then I'm using the same tagging system I was then. Almost exactly the same. And this was just bullet journaling, I think, really. Oh, this is a slightly different layout to my other book. I've done the week overview as a longer page with some priorities. And then just my daily pages are very simple. And here, I think, as well as the earlier book, I don't know when, you guys. Tell me if you want a better video than this and I'll work on it. But this is when I started collecting things in between my pages, which is basically what I do now in my field notes and in the back of my Hobonichi. I think I mostly just changed because I got really bored of trying to work, like trying to draw everything out all the time. I got bored of it. So then I wanted something that was more laid out, and also because I wanted to use the grid paper rather than the dots, but the grids, sorry, got too dark. So, what is this? Oh, I was in Wales. Some very early illustration work. Some funny bits glued in. Aladdin of the pantomime. Mary Poppins Returns. I used to watch a lot of movies. This is cool. This was from an exhibition I saw at the Welcome Collection that was really good. I remember that. My writing here is quite big. Some other miscellaneous stuck in bits. And these are finished books. So I finished this one, thank God I write the date somewhere, February 22nd, 2019. And I used the whole book, which is nice. A lot of receipts are fading, which is fine. My birthday. I wonder what that used to be. There's like a McDonald's receipt or something. Oh, tube map. I've clearly changed my mind about whatever was stuck there originally. Wow, okay, not very interesting. Let's look at number 2. And I'll just do some quick flick throughs of them all, so that you guys have something to watch this week. But as I said, if you want a more cohesive breakdown and like an actual flip through of all of them, then I could consider that. I'm open to it. This one was the next book, so this one finished in May 2019, so February to May. I think the books lasted me around 3 months at a time. That feels familiar. Again, basically the same list that I still use now. A monthly spread, so just some notes. Was this when I first started work? No, this is when I was working on the illustrations for STEM, the anthology. In one of them, I think I must have started work on my autism book though, and that's kind of cool to go back and see. Interesting. This was an exhibition I went to at the Science Museum in London. That was really good. It was just about the sun through history. It was fascinating. About how different cultures have understood and worshipped and interacted with the idea of the sun and stuff. Like, it was just really cool. This is Pollock's Toy Museum in London. This was the era when I was living in London and I would just spend all week going to museums, and I had such a good time. This one is from the Petrie Museum in London, which is an Egyptian archaeology museum that's part of one of the universities. I remember all of this being, I did these 2 in the same day because they're near each other, and I remember it being such a good day. Like, I really miss living in London and doing those things. This one is about the Dyatlov Pass, which is so funny because that's always been one of like my biggest interests. And here I have an article from the Fortean Times about it. And I've stuck it in because I thought it was important enough to keep. My brother turned 18. He's 21 now, he'll be 22 in March. That's so wild. We were in Wales and we got coffee. This one, I remember this is a cute picture. Wow. Swansea. That's where I was born, is Swansea. Jet Love Pass. Ghost book. I remember when I read this. Oh, this is nice. Okay, this book I feel like I'm familiar. I feel like I know where I am now with this book. I can remember a lot. So just ignore the whole first half of this talking segment and let's just keep looking at pictures. What was happening here? Phosphorus. Okay. This is when I first, or probably not first, but I was writing about commonplacing here. I think this must be when I was starting to do a lot of commonplace research. I think I wanted to make a zine called Commonplace. Oh, I did. I think I did make a zine called Commonplace. Like, way back, obviously, 2019. So it was a really small run and it was a weird little beige thing, but I remember it. I think this was a found shopping list because I would never be buying this stuff. First of all, I hate Vaseline, so I wouldn't be buying Vaseline. I think I found it in a trolley. This is from that Sun exhibition again at the Science Museum. Dumbo, that was the new one that came out. Was it Tim Burton did it? This is from the Sun exhibition as well. It was so good. Are there more pictures? I'm sorry for those of you into the planning side of it. It is just running to-do lists. They're not very interesting. I'm still procrastinating my laundry 4 years later, so. This is when I met one of my friends in London. That was a really, really nice day. I remember that. That's Juno, our family dog. She passed away last year. She was a little West Highland Terrier, and that's a little picture of her in the park coming into the graveyard. A lot of work notes. Not very interesting. This is in Wales again. Did I go back to Wales again like 3 months later? Probably. Prince Charles Cinema listings, very important information. The zoo, a receipt for the zoo. It's faded. Also, it looks like I stuck it the other way around. Was that my Myers-Briggs type? I didn't write down what the initials were. From the short story machine in Canary Wharf. In Canary Wharf in London, there's this machine that you press a button, you choose like short, medium or long, and it prints out a short story for free. It's really cool. I went on an adventure in London to go and find it specifically, and I did, and I was landed. What movie did I see? Amelie. I remember that. I saw Amelie in the Prince Charles Cinema. Still like that. I'm still always stunned when I see a little smiley face on the ground. Still always take a photo like that. And that's the end of that one. I hope this is interesting. If it's not, we're really stuck. Oh, I started writing down my cinema tickets. I must have realised they were fading. So in this book, I saw Kiki's Delivery Service at the Prince Charles, Rocket Man, The Big Sleep at the Prince Charles, The Iron Giant, again at the Prince Charles, Men in Black International, which was terrible. Bill Cunningham, New York, that was a documentary I saw with my brother at the Prince Charles. Spider-Man Far From Home, and Annabelle Comes Home. I think I was back in Wales for this one again. There was a period of my life when my dad and my brother were both living in Wales together, and I would just go all the time. We're hoping to move back this year. That's our biggest goal this year, is just to move back home. This was a period of time when I had so much to track, or I thought I had so much to track, that I started tagging things by using the dot stickers and then writing 1 or 2, and if it was like 2 it was quotes and passages of text, and if it was 1 then it was found scraps, that kind of thing. This one was thoughts and thinking, so like just brain drain, and then number 2 was observations and people watching, so that's kind of neat. I could try that again, to be honest, because sometimes I think I need more or less stickers than I have. Not sure what's going on here. What is that, 4 bananas? No, bread. Don't know what that was. Gosh Comics. I recognise it. That's a really cool comic book shop in Soho, in London. Kiki's Delivery Service ticket that is almost non-existent. This is my great-grandmother's handwriting. There was a period of time when I was living in London, I was helping my grandma like go through and archive a lot of my great-grandmother's papers. And that's a scrap of that. Here my handwriting gets small. Was it small in book 2? I can't remember. Do you guys remember if my handwriting got small? Here is when I started collecting more text. A shopping list of stuff. It's a receipt. Let's try and skim through a bit faster. We'll be here for 85 years and then the video will go from being non-existent to way too long. Glossier sticker. I bought more Glossier stuff this week and I really don't enjoy shopping with them anymore. I just don't know where to find dupes for their products that are more affordable. This looks like stock take for the shop, for the corner shop. Some kind of old ticket. Again, probably from my great grandmother's stuff. Because that took up a good few months of my life with my grandma. What else? I have no idea what I was writing about here. It looks to be something to do with star signs and I'm not sure why. YouTube video ideas from one of my many failed attempts at a comeback. This is my great-grandmother's handwriting, or it could be my great-grandfather. I'm not sure whose spidery scrawl that would be. I think my great-grandma. This is plans I made to hang out with my dad when he came to visit in London. I think we did most of it, to be fair. Some kind of ticket. YouTube thoughts. This is nice. A nice illustration. Oh, because I went to the Comics and Art Festival. I remember that. It was really good. A lot of plans. Big Sleep. What am I writing about here? From The Cost of Life, a book I was reading. I should do this again. That's a fair point. I should be copying stuff out that I highlight in books again. This was from an exhibition I went to at the Wellcome Collection again. It was about the history of magic and like illusions and spiritualism. It was so good. So it was like Harry Houdini and Arthur Conan Doyle ghost busting and stuff. University of Greenwich. Oh, the Painted Hall. Yes, I went with my dad, I remember. And a fortune cookie. Observations from the week, apparently. That's kind of cool. I should do that again. This is nice. I'm glad I found these because... Wednesday, thank you. Quiet. Because I really didn't think I still had these books. Wednesday, come on, enough. Sorry, I had to end the video for a second there because there was a dog barking outside on the canal and Wednesday doesn't have that kind of self-control. I've never had to do that before. Hopefully it's not too jarring. Just different scraps I think I collected from different times. Oh, I love these fortune fish. I used to put those in all my shop orders, but they got more expensive to buy. You used to be able to buy boxes of 100 for like £2.50. And they were really fun, I thought, to include in orders. Men in Black, terrible, as I said. It's really fun, I was saying, I think, because I didn't think I still had these books. So, oh my god, when I saw Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi is one of my mum's favourite bands and my auntie got her tickets for Christmas one year as a really big surprise and I got to go with her. It was really good. Anyway, the most exciting thing about that Bon Jovi concert was that Manic Street Preachers were supporting. Yeah, I didn't think I still had these books, to be honest with you. And especially from this point onwards, like I feel very connected to these still. I can still remember doing these things. Here I wrote with Luke. Oh, and also this is the friction pen. So as you can see, the receipts are all fading because they're thermal, but the pens have held up fine. And this is what I was saying recently with like, I've never noticed an issue with the pens. Like these are all still great. So that's why I'm not worried about the pens that much, because I don't know if maybe I just live in the perfect climate for them. A shout out to me losing time on these 2 pages. I love that I've just written "who knows" and drawn a box around it. This is probably a scrap from a magazine or something. I've torn it out of something. Five Guys with my brother. I remember this. We went to Uxbridge and we had milkshakes and Five Guys. It was a nice day. I think this is a little black and white photograph I bought from Camden Market. It's trashed now. The market is not the same as it used to be, but at least still in 2019, you could go into the horse stable part of the market where all the like really old vintagey junk stuff used to be. And people would just have suitcases and suitcases full of old photographs and you could buy them for like 10p each. So I don't know who this belongs to. I think it says Grand Hotel Llandudno, which is a place in Wales. But obviously this isn't my photograph or my family's photograph. I just bought it secondhand. And I think it came with the one that I have above my desk, which is of the place in Wales with the really long name. No, I can't say it. but I can say Llandudno. And I think that's what that says. It's really cute. I miss doing these kinds of things. I miss a lot of London, to be honest. But I also miss Wales, so I can't win. Tim Hortons in Cardiff, I remember that. These are, when we went to Barry Island, I was going to say, is this from Barry Island? So we went for the first time. I'd never been to Barry Island, and we just played all the funny old arcade games. And we found an Addams Family pinball machine, and it was really, really good. And a Zoltar, because we were always hunting down the old Zoltar machines. Man, these were really good times. This is when I was up north with my mum, and we went to Mother Shipton's cave, and they have really weird old arcade machines as well, so that's another fortune from one of those. So that means this is when my great-grandmother died, actually, so it's sad that the book started with scraps from when my grandmother and I were trying to archive parts of her life, and then at some point in the book she passed. Yeah. I love this sticker. I don't know, I got it from the arts fair that there's a label for in the beginning of the book, but I don't know who the illustrator is. Someone C. May or Mai, but I don't know who. July 2019. So there we go. Oh look, there's Camden Pizza. I spent a lot of time in Camden in this book. Okay, book 4. Let's do it. Hopefully you're interested enough to continue. I think book 5 is only half full, so we're almost done. Stickers in the front. Wednesday enough. Settle. She's been for a big walk, so I'm not sure why she's being quite so fussy today. Same thing from the previous book. I think these two are the strongest. Book 3 and 4 were the strongest. A lot of bits and pieces. Carrots, apparently. October at the Prince Charles. Very important. They show a lot of old Halloween films, and it's really exciting. I think this is when I was working on my first Halloween zine, so that's pretty cool. Things to try harder to do again. This is when my dad moved to Reading. He was living in Bracknell first, and then, which is a town near Reading, and now he lives in central Reading, where I obviously live. This is when he first moved from Wales. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. That was so good. I'm so glad we saw that one in the cinema. That's another Zoltar fortune. I'm not sure what I was tracking with the stars here. I guess maybe good days or bad days or something. Not sure. A little drawing of a book. Because I was planning to go to Cornwall with my mum and I wanted to make a zine. But when I got there, I quickly realised that it's actually really hard to be visiting places and making a zine at the same time. So I didn't make one. But I did plan our whole journey and I tagged it all on a map. It's interesting that the tape is degrading underneath and you can see it come through. I wonder if that's going to be a problem for my current books. It looks kind of cool though. I'm not against it. But these were all the things we did in Cornwall. We had a great time. It was good. I don't know what that's for. London 1960. Oh, I bought a tube map. I bought a really old tube map. That's what it's for. I still have it in my room somewhere. It's not hanging on my board currently, but it's in one of my boxes of miscellaneous ephemera. Halloween zine. A little house. A lot of drawings. I was probably... Oh, this is when we were in Cornwall. So I was just writing down what we were doing each day instead of keeping a daily to-do list. So pretty cool. We went to a seal sanctuary and that was really cool. And we also went to Tintagel, which is pretty cool. This was really good. We went to the Lost Gardens of Heligan, which was like, it was so good. And then we also did the Eden Project, which I'd never done before, and it was amazing. St. Michael's Mount, Land's End. Barbara Hepworth's museum, so good. So good. And an English heritage site of some kind. Cornish Seal Sanctuary. A lot of writing. Dunno. Halloween zine playlist. So when I went to the Transport Museum, I think. I don't know what that is. What does that say? Ghosts. Coffin shape. I mean, it's very on brand, but I don't know what it means. Maybe it was some kind of stickers or something. What does that say? Copenhagen. It's from Tiger, I think. I think that says Copenhagen, so I think it's from Tiger. I don't know, but mood. Ghost in Coffin Shape. I saw this alone in the cinema by myself, and the whole screen was empty. It was just me and the fucking clown. It was really good. The It movies are unironically some of my biggest comfort films. I love them. And I'm so glad I saw the second one in the cinema. So, I don't know what this is. I haven't got a clue. Some kind of floor plan, but I don't know for what. I'm never going anywhere, so. Starbucks. Waterstones. I bought Fortnum and Mason Halloween stuff one year. That's what that's from. I'm planning for my next book. What else is in here? Not a lot. A little skeleton. This one says Halloween pumpkin something. So this was like a bunch of Halloween stuff I bought, I think. Yep. Casper the Friendly Ghost t-shirt. I don't know what that one was. I saw The Lost Boys and The Shining. This was a good year because I saw like a lot of the Prince Charles Cinema Halloween showings, and I got to see both of these with my dad, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend, and it was really good. This one finished at like after midnight though, and that was stressful for getting home. It was like the uncut edition, the director's cut, whatever it's called. Ends October 2019. So that means the last book, I think, yeah, when I went to New York. Oh my god. So in 2020, I went to New York with one of my best friends, my main best friend, my longest, oldest friend. And it was like a once in a lifetime kind of trip for us. We both got a really big freelance pay. And we were like, should we just go to New York? So we did for a week, and it was so good. It was so good. And that was February 2020. So we were really on the skin of our teeth as far as things were worldwide concerned, where people were talking about things, but it wasn't super intense yet, and we weren't sure. So it was really lucky, because I think a month later the UK was in its first lockdown. So and we went in February. Here I've actually glued 2 pages together, so I messed something up in there. Somehow I messed up the calendar, which just goes to show that my books have never been perfect. They just look very neat. Same thing again. Oh, we got a straggler on that side. This is when I started planning more in a week, which is largely still what I do now. That's my dad's handwriting. I'm not sure what it's from. Probably a birthday present. He always just puts sticky notes on them. JFK fare. I'm not sure what this is. A taxi receipt. This is from the airport to our hotel. Bacon, tomato, grilled cheese. This is when we first discovered Panera bread. For my American viewers, I've never been to America before this, and it was very exciting. We loved Panera. Like, we were like sold on Panera. This is some kind of luggagey thing or something. Oh, it's a boarding pass. Fading though, which is sad. I should really scan these or something before I lose them. A junk shop. This was good in Brooklyn. I found so much good junk, just photos and stuff like I find in Camden. The air train. We went to Ellen's Stardust Diner, the one where they sing and do the Broadway stuff while you're eating pancakes, and it was really good. I'd recommend that. It was good. I guess that's, oh no, here's some more. MoMA, I went. Coney Island, and I got to see the spooky guy. It was off season, they were prepping it, ready to reopen, they were doing all the painting and stuff, and it was quite nice because it meant that it wasn't too busy. What does that say? I don't know. Benugo British Museum. This was the last outing I had before everything kicked off, and we went with my brother. And people were starting to wear, like, only like 2 or 3 people on the whole train were starting to wear masks. It was getting a bit scary, but no one understood what was going on. So it was an interesting time. This was when STEM, I got my first copy of the STEM anthology that I was working on in the other book. Animal Crossing notes, because this was the Animal Crossing New Horizons era when it first released. More Animal Crossing notes. My great-grandmother's handwriting by the looks. Oh no, this is when we were buying groceries for our neighbour during the first lockdown, and this was his shopping list. Does this one have the lettuce on it? He was always asking for sweetheart lettuce and we could never find it, and one day I finally found it and I brought it to him, and he was like, oh, the turtle will be so relieved, and I was like, the who? Because I thought it was for him. but it was for their pet. I think it's a tortoise, for their pet tortoise. She was coming out of hibernation, and so they were trying to get her some good letters. Yeah, as I say, weird time. There's the STEM anthology book. It was really, really exciting to work on. Animal Crossing notes. Learning. This is when I first started learning Welsh. I've now been learning Welsh for 2 or 3 years. So that was really exciting. That's so cute to see. Wow. Ideas for YouTube, I really thought during the lockdown. Planning for little sketchbooks. More Welsh learning. This is from the Weird Walk zines. I really like them. They're so good. I'm not sure why the pages are empty around it. I guess I just never filled them out. Learning Welsh. Existing Autistic. This is when I first started working about the book. This isn't when I first started working on it. This is additional pages. But I was working on it. Learning Welsh. That's when I bought a jacket that I eventually gave to my brother because it fit him better than it did me, and he didn't have a coat. The Sweetheart Cabbage. This is what I was buying for my neighbour's tortoise unknowingly. I was tracing Sweetheart Cabbage across our area for weeks before I finally found some. But eventually. I never got to see the tortoise, which is a shame. This is some kind of order from somewhere. I think I had a key ring. It's still on my keys. What's this? Digital journal, apparently. Oh, lost a whole week. IKEA. Some other little bits. This is when I was working on my autism zine, because these were the flyers that came inside it. And this one. This is from, I think, probably the first order of books. And then, not sure what happened in these pages, and then not sure what happened here. This is where I test my pen to get it moving when I first start. And this is where it ends. So I think I then took a break maybe from books during the lockdowns because I didn't have a lot to say. I'm not sure what happened, but it tapers off there. And I don't know what happened in between because I can't remember. This is probably like a 30-minute talking segment, so I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna take my decorations down this afternoon, I think, because I think tonight is the 12th night. Let me know if you want a more in-depth look at some of like the really weird older ones, because these ones we looked at, but obviously not these, and I used these for a long time too, so let me know. I'm glad I found them, especially those last couple were really, like that one when I was doing all the stuff in London, that was quite emotional to look at, so hope you enjoyed. Probably won't do another talking segment tomorrow, obviously, but here you go. I gave you something to look at this week, and I hope you liked it. I hope the new year is kind to you all, and I hope next week's video is better.